Hello, hello, hello. Well, welcome to the 30 presented by the Jackman Group LLC. My name is Patrick. I am your host. And tonight I'll be speaking with a good friend of mine, a online and business mentor, Sabrina Teekah. And she's going to talk to us about her business and what she's doing in a virtual space to help other businesses and individuals. And she's also going to be talking about what's called a journey map, a customer journey map. So stick around for the next 30 minutes and we'll be talking about that. Also, you don't want to miss towards the end of this broadcast, because I have some exciting things that I want to share with you. So stick around right after or right before we end the broadcast and right after I'm finished speaking with Sabrina. Some exciting things that we are going to be talking about. So before we go any further, let's welcome Sabrina in. Sabrina, welcome to the 30.
Having me.
Not a problem. Thank you again for taking time out. I know that you are a busy person, so thanks for taking 30 minutes, 28 minutes of your schedule to chat to us about OpEx Consulting Services. So let's start. What is OpEx Consulting Services?
So OpEx Consulting Services is a company that my husband and I own, offering IT solutions. Both of us came from that industry. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that first. We live in New Jersey.
Okay.
And we have both been in IT since we started our careers, actually, way back when. We have two kids. My daughter, they're adult kids, and I have a son as well. We have a son. So he's in New York, she's in Pennsylvania. And yeah.
Cool. So you guys started OpEx some years ago when your kids were younger, obviously. So let's talk about OpEx. Let's talk about what you do. And then where are you now in reference to the virtual space?
Right.
And then we can move forward and chat a little bit more about the ventures that you are involved with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been an entrepreneur since 2000, really. And I started out owning a different business. And that was, I still have that business. It's actually in interior design. I have 3 different disciplines that I've studied. So the original one being computer science, which is where I started, got fed up of that and did interior design, and then needed to know how to grow a business. So then I did marketing. So with that said, I was doing, I started Elegant Interiors when the kids were very little. After I left I used the program do software solutions for the healthcare and the railroad industry. Large software, millions of dollars project type of writing software from scratch. And anyway, so after a couple of years, my husband wanted to leave corporate America. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing 2 different things within the business, helping small businesses really get started and doing some of their IT, because even though after I left IT, I didn't want to see anything IT because I was just completely burnt out. I started helping my clients build their website. And so that's kind of how I came back into the business, because that's kind of my first love anyway. So my husband is also in software development and software solutions. So OpEx Consulting was formed in 2015, and he left corporate America then. So we do global consulting. So we've done some business in some different islands, and across, a couple different states in the US. So really, he focuses more on larger businesses and their entire IT solution, focusing more in the casualty and property industry because he also has that business knowledge. He's also an PCU, so he understands the business side of it as well as the technology side of it. So he does consulting services, advises their CIOs on how to run projects better or run the project himself. Okay. And I focus more on smaller businesses.
Got it. Now, so I imagine the business has probably taken off this year due to the pandemic. I know your part of it has taken off because we've worked with you and we've seen your work firsthand with Man-to-Man, the Candid Conversation Conference. So how are things doing now with your part of it as far as the virtual business is concerned?
Yeah, so my part of it really took off because everybody has to do something virtually now. I think people realize that, hey, what I need to make this happen are some pieces that I can actually provide for them. So as a business, you need to have some foundational pieces in place, like your website and whatever. And so there's so many pieces to that puzzle, and there are many pieces that I know how to build the strategy, but also how to build the solution.
So if a entrepreneur like myself came to you and says, Sabrina, we want to do a virtual event, what are some of the services that you can provide to that person or to that business? So
a couple of different things. I can help them with a strategy of the overall event.
Okay.
So there are event planners that actually do the event piece of the planning, but there are so many pieces around the event that has to be done. So the strategic planning around that, and also helping you to build what we are calling in this world right now, the dashboard, right, which is the point of navigation. It's your digital venue. In the physical world, you have a ballroom. In the digital world, you have this thing called a dashboard that allows you to navigate the event, because pretty much everything is some sort of link to either a live Zoom room or something recorded. So instead of an attendee having to go look through all their emails to find a whole bunch of different links, this dashboard is created. So that's the piece that I'm helping my clients with.
Yeah, and as I said, you helped us tremendously in terms of the dashboard, because that was our entry point. The men came in, went to the dashboard, and then that was kind of like the nerve center to other places in the event. So that was awesome. Now, how did you get into building dashboards?
Well, you see, okay, so when I actually teach at one of the community colleges, I teach digital marketing, and it's a face-to-face class, obviously. And I really wanted, because I do online courses as well. I have an online portal. I have my own website that I offer online courses so that people can buy that. So I wanted to find out. Now, I went to an event where I met you. It's a virtual event. And I really attended that event to find out how to make my 3-hour classes more interesting.
Right.
Because now the college was asking me to do this over Zoom, and really realized in the Facebook group of the event that people needed this thing called a dashboard.
Yes.
Which is something I know how to build.
Right, right.
And I started putting it out there and say, hey, if you guys want this, let me help you build it, right? So that's kind of how that evolved.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was genius. It was extremely helpful for us because I'm thinking, how are we going to put this together? And I would say coming out of that event, there's so many businesses that were our project started as a result of that one event. 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but there's so many businesses that were started. It was great, and we're still in the community talking back and forth.
Yes, right? There was a lot of innovation.
Absolutely.
Innovation. Yes, for sure.
Now you also do another piece that you do for yourself on Friday evenings online, something called Teekah Talks. Correct. Which is also great. I love them. What is Teekah Talks?
So Teekah Talks started quite by accident too. Right. After the event, I still wanted to learn more about the AV side. I knew the tech side, the web tech part, but there's a tech AV part.
Sure.
That I did not really quite understand. And just because of how my brain works, I'm like, well, wait a minute, I need to understand that a little bit more. So I put it out there and say, hey guys, you want to get together on Friday night just to talk about this, and let's share whatever knowledge, because there's so many different expertise in the group.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that started. And this week, we actually have an amazing speaker talking about JV partners, joint venture partners.
Sure.
And so it's really evolved, and it's been great because I think we're all learning, but we're all sharing, sharing knowledge at the same time. People are getting great resources. It's a free virtual meetup Friday nights.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I've learned so much from just being Friday at 5 to 6. Well, 6-ish.
We try to go to 6.
Because there's so much information being shared. It's hard to do it in 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the projects, Sabrina, that you are currently working on that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, right now I have about 4 dashboard projects in the works, events happening, throughout different months, right? So I'm working on those. And then I'm also working on helping 2 of my teachers get their teachings, so converting their face-to-face curriculum for an online world. Because you have to, the face-to-face needs to be broken down a little bit differently for when you're going to do it online, only because of the consumption. Like you have to, since you don't have this interaction, and if somebody is taking a self-paced course, then you have to break that down a little bit differently, the curriculum. And then I'm working on my own, implementing some things for myself on my own site. So there's always something to do.
Now, how do you see the virtual space as we move forward? Do you think we'll go back into a face-to-face event, or is this virtual event, is this going to be here for the long term?
I think eventually we will go back to in-person, but virtual is not going away.
Okay.
It has opened, it has expanded the reach.
Right.
And so because of that, it is not going to go away because it's very powerful. I think designing a virtual event is very critical.
Sure.
Because you can go to something boring, or you can go to the one that we went to and sat for 30 hours and be excited every single minute of the time, right?
Exactly. So people complain sometimes for one day, right? I have some guys that were saying before they came to the man-to-man piece, they're like, wow, so we're going to sit for 7-8 hours. But after they didn't say that, they were like, wow, that was great. But I tell them, listen, I attended a virtual event for 3 days.
Oh, right. It's really on how you design engagement and
Right.
content.
Right.
Yeah, and the flow and everything like that. So yeah, it's not going away. It's really expanded the reach of people that want to do these things, you know. But I think as humans, we still want that personal touch. So
Absolutely.
I think that is going to come back, but when is anybody's guess.
Right. Right. It's the unknown, right?
Right.
So we talked about how OpEx consulting change, or your part of the business change, because you're the COO due to COVID-19. And we talked about your business ventures or things that you're doing currently. What do you project yourself to be doing maybe in another 6 months or so? Where do you see the company going, whether it's on your husband's side or on your side? Let's say 6 months to a year.
So I see it continuing in this virtual space, what I'm doing right now. What my goal is to reach out to larger companies that really want to do something online. So that's one part. But also the people that are hosting these events, they have content and they need to get it online.
Absolutely.
So helping them to build a portal, so to speak, where they can have their courses and really have a membership site or a one-off course, or, you know, to really build their knowledge commerce platform.
Yeah.
And to help them to figure out, you know, how do you do the end-to-end process in that.
That's good. That's good stuff. Excellent. So what have you learned in this from this whole experience? What are some of the lessons that you've learned to help you improve in business?
During COVID, you mean?
Yes.
Or okay. So a couple of things I've learned. I've learned that we only have one chance in life. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is the real thing. If you ever wanted to do something, and if you, you know, don't hesitate. It's progress, not perfection, like we learned, right?
Yes. Right.
So,
right.
my thing is, don't die with your song still in you. You need to do something. It doesn't have to be perfect.
That's great.
Lesson one: jump in with both feet immediately.
So just do it.
Just do it. It doesn't matter, because the first step is the hardest step.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. So a lot of people are waiting to be perfect.
Sure.
Well, I think that I've gone through that phase already. And now it's like, I'm just doing it. You know,
Nice.
it's you have to just do what you feel you can do and what you feel you're called to do.
Okay. I'm talking to Sabrina Teekah she's the COO of OpEx Consulting Services. If you want to ask her a question, just drop it in the comments field, and I'll bring that up and she can respond. Or if you simply want to just make a comment of the broadcast or this particular episode, I invite you to do that as well. Now, you and I talked about another piece of your business or your expertise, and that's the customer journey map. For our viewers, what is a customer journey map, first and foremost? And then what is the importance of having one?
Okay. So within my my sort of expertise in helping my clients, right? There are many different pieces, and I use many different tools. So the customer journey map is one tool. And the reason why you need a journey map is because you want to control the conversation to the call to action.
Okay.
It's really, what is the call to action has to be one thing. And you are helping that person to make the decision. Okay, so what does that mean? It's a path that says, okay, especially in today's world.
Right.
A long time ago, we could send a postcard or we could send one email and somebody will buy. Well, it doesn't really work that way anymore. Hardly ever, I should say.
Sure.
Because there's only about 30% of the people that you talk to that might buy right away. But you have to take them through this journey. So the first thing, let's say they don't know you. The first thing they want to know is, what's in it for me? Because nobody cares about you. They just want to know how you can help them get to where they want to go.
Absolutely.
Right? So you need to address that and state, what is the problem? Here's a quick, so there are many pieces to it, but what is the first thing they want to know about buying this widget, right?
How is it going to benefit them, right?
Correct. How is it going to benefit them? What are some of the what are some of the advantages to doing this? What are some of the issues? So within that journey, you are creating what are the milestones and what is their next question.
Sure.
Because when you answer this question, there'll be another question. Or they'll need to know something else. They'll need to know something else. So basically, you're educating them in small pieces and small bits, because then it's a touch point, it's a touch point, it's a touch point, right? Yeah. So within this map, it's different touch points, answering different questions to help them make that decision. So you got to answer objections. You have to answer, how is it going to help them? If they don't do it, what is the cost of them waiting? So it's different pieces like that that you map out.
And you have that as a course, or is that something that someone can contact you about?
Well, I do master classes too, which they start as a free class, and then which gives you an overview of what things are, but to actually do it, you need a lot more time than an hour.
Sure.
So, I mean, if somebody wants to map it out, it usually figures out, what are we asking the person to do first? Then we re-engineer, where do we start?
Now, I always hear in the virtual world or online, as I learn more and more about online and how to be more proficient, I hear this thing about a master class. What is a master class? How do you define a master class?
So, I think it's a word that's used a lot, and my definition, the reason why I started using the word masterclass was not anything that I can 100% justify, because my mentor said, don't call it a webinar, call it a masterclass.
Okay.
It's a buzzword at the moment. And really, to me, a 1 hour is not a masterclass.
Okay.
To me, if I do an event and I teach you something in 4 or 5 hours, now that might be a master class, because now you can master that subject or that thing, right? But the way we're using it right now, it is really a buzzword.
Yeah, everyone has a master class.
Exactly. Because it's a marketing thing, okay? Sure. Everybody understands what that is. So it's kind of, and I don't know where it originated, but I feel like it originated with Oprah.
Okay. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because you hear masterclass and then you hear the word coach, and that's one of my big pet peeve in terms of the word coaching. But that's another topic. I'll talk about that sometime down the road.
Yeah. I don't do coaching. I do consulting.
Sure. Now I have here, if someone wants to get a hold of you, is that that's the right website, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what you can do is to maybe put your email address in the chat.
Okay.
And
I
then,
have here, if anybody wants to learn about what the heck is a dashboard, you can opt in there. It gives you a little overview of what's a dashboard. Why
okay,
do
so
you?
they can opt in here.
Yes, the one that I
Okay.
just put in the chat.
Okay.
Did I put it in the right place?
That's fine. I can see if I can bring it up. If not, I'll put it in the comments field.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll ask you for your name and email address, and then it'll
Mhm.
take you to another page that shows you a video of a pre-recorded. I recorded, what exactly is a dashboard and why do you need it?
Okay. All right. Great. Well, let me do this. We're going to do something called rapid fire.
Okay.
And it's 1 minute. So let's talk about this. Ready?
Go for it.
Go. Last book you read.
The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Okay. Person you most admire and why?
I got a lot of people I admire, but I'm going to say my mom.
Okay.
Because she has taught me many, many lessons in life. And she's always taught me that every single person in life can teach me something about life and to respect them.
Greatest fear that you've overcame?
There's always a fear of something.
So one thing that you've overcome.
The one thing that sticks out right now, that comes to me right away, is me leaving my country many, many years ago as a young girl and going to a different country, a different world, and trying to figure out how to manage and how to live in a different world.
In your country, that was Guyana, right?
That was Guyana in South America, and then I left to go to Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Most recent business win?
Most recent business win? Just doing dashboards, man.
Okay. That's good. All right, here we go.
That's been fun.
Soda or pop?
I saw this and I was like, I usually say soft drink.
Soft drink is an island thing, right?
I guess it's an island thing. So I would say soda.
Okay. Last one. Rice and peas or peas and rice?
Peas and rice.
Peas and rice. Okay. All right. Sabrina, thank you so very much. This was fun. Let's do it again.
Yes.
Any last parting words?
Thank you so much, Patrick. I've learned a lot from you as well, and I appreciate you having me on. And keep up doing what you're doing. The Man-to-Man Conference is an amazing project that you're doing, and I wish you the best with that. And I really respect you for seeing that need and filling that need.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sabrina. That means a lot. I truly appreciate it. We will be touching base. I'll see you tomorrow at Teekah Talks, first and foremost, Friday at 5 p.m. And then I'll connect with you sometime next week as we move forward. All right?
Thank you again, Patrick.
Not a problem. Have a good night. So we've been talking with Sabrina Teekah of OpX Consulting Services. If you want to get in contact with her, if you have an event coming up and you need some help, I'm going to put her contact information in the comments field so you can take a look at that. We are coming to the end of the 30, but I have some exciting news that I want to share with you. As we continue doing this broadcast, we've been doing this now for a number of months. And I've had some interest from others in terms of, well, how can I promote my products or services? And I've gone back and forth as to if we want to do that. So I think we've come to a conclusion that we are going to open it up. If you would like to advertise a product or service on the 30, you can drop us a line or send me an email, and we can talk about it. But this is going to be on a very select basis. All right. So if you have a product or service that you would like to promote or sponsor the show, you can do that. And then send me an email and I will reach out to you and we will see what products and service it is. But of course, it is only on a select basis. So that's exciting because I've tossed and turned about it. I've looked at it and see whether it is feasible, because I've had some questions asked about that. So we're going to open it up for just a select few sponsors or strategic partners. The other thing that we are going to be discussing, that we're going to offer, and I talked about this last time, is the opportunity to join our community. I'm also going to put this in a comments field, but we invite you to join our community. Be a part of this community. Be a part of the Jackman Group LLC community. We're growing, and we're going to talk more about this. If you would like to be a part of it, you can just register, and then we'll follow up with more information. So exciting things are happening with the 30. Exciting things are happening with the Jackman Group. So until next time, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless your family.